one step at a time. Start by getting organized. Get all the materials that relate to the test you're taking, notes, handouts, quizzes, book, projects, and lay them out neatly in a way that makes sense to you. You might organize them by topic, in chronological order, or in some other way that works. Perhaps you like to use color-coded highlighters or stacks of note cards. The point is that there's no one way to organize. You have to find the best system that helps you make connections with the material. By the night before a test, you should already have a good baseline of knowledge on the test topics. That means your goal here is to review and refresh. If your teacher gave you a study guide, start with that, quizzing yourself as you go along. Refer to your other materials if you can't remember an item on the guide, and then write it down. Use mnemonic devices to help you remember bits of information that you wouldn't otherwise, but try to avoid just memorizing everything. It's harder to recall straight facts than it is to have a network of connected ideas that you can rely on. If you don't have a study guide or if you've finished going over it, prioritize notes and handouts. Things like dates, names, and vocabulary words are likely to show up on tests, so study those first. After that, review the bigger picture stuff, material that covers cause and effect relationships within the topic area and other ideas that could show up on an essay question. For these, memorization is less important than having a solid enough understanding to explain it back on a written answer. It can seem overwhelming, especially if you have a lot of material to review, so take it slowly. A good rule of thumb is to focus for 30 to 45-minute increments followed by 5-minute breaks. If you try to cram in all the information the night before the test, your brain will overload and you'll have to work to regain your focus on studying. This is why it's also useful to review for a few days before the test, not just the night before, so you can spread out the material and review everything multiple times over a few separate sessions. Buddy system. If you really want to test your understanding of the material, try explaining it to someone who isn't in the class. Get a family member or friend and teach them as much as you can remember. This will let you see how well you understand the concepts and how well you can make connections. If you have a partner or a family member to help you, have them quiz you on the material. As you go, make a list of anything you get stuck on or can't remember. Once you've been quizzed, take your list and study that material repeatedly until you've got it. Finally, write down all your mnemonic devices, important dates, and quick facts on one sheet of paper so you can refer to it the morning before the big test.